Hello and welcome to the Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. I'm your host, Israel, and my guests today are Stef and Natasha. Together, they are the Factory Girls duo. I love your performance in the band. Let's just start with that. Well, first off, thanks for coming on the show. How are you doing today?
Good. Really good. I got up so early, I couldn't wait. I've been up since like 6 o'clock. Like, we don't do anything anymore, so I was like, oh my god, I have an excuse to put on eyelashes. What?
Exactly. Yeah. Very exciting times. Social times.
Okay. So let's talk about the performance in the band, right?
Yeah. So we did a little kind of a live off the floor recording with analog songs it was amazing. It was very chilly that day, but it was a really awesome experience. So Katie Hopkins is the main owner of Analog Songs. She does an amazing job, really great rates. And we went to the Boathouse in Avondale. That often, like, you'll see, like, a lot of festivals are held there, like the Full Circle Festival and the North Along the Shore Festival, just to name a few. But I've been to a couple festivals there, and I just, like, love the vibe in that barn. It's so amazing. And, like, at dusk, like, when the sun sets behind when you open those big doors up and the sun sets behind it, it's, like, the most magical scene, like, you know, when you have somebody playing in front of this beautiful sunset. So I was really taken by that place, and we needed a place that was rain safe. So it was perfect.
And I complained enough being inside the barn about how cold I was, so there was just no chance of us doing anything outside.
She's the diva. I'm just kind of low maintenance, but Natasha will tell you.
It depends on what it is for me. Like, I can do a lot of things without maintenance, but being cold, like, I don't know why I live in Nova Scotia.
I mean, once you're cold, right. Once you're cold, I think, you know, I say, like, I mean, like, once you're cold, it kind of turns you off doing a couple of things. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
I get cranky. And then it's like, it's all I can think about. And I want to be really nice, but I'm like, but I'm cold.
Personally, I get cranky when I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm cold, I just want to get out. But when I'm hungry, I'm like the Incredible Hulk.
I love it.
So how did you two get together? What's the origin story of Factory Girls?
Well, I was in a heavier band with my boyfriend. We were in a doom metal band called Chosen Lung, and I played a show with them at we were at the Oasis. And I think it was we met that night, but I don't think I remember much of it. But then the next day, you were playing a show at the same spot. And I'm pretty sure John and I went back to, like, get some gear from the night before. Like, I think we were picking up the drums or something, I don't know. And I just ran into you there. And I don't know, I think we went in to come see the show and then started talking. And then you were playing a show at the Highland Arts Theatre. Looking for backup singers. I don't know if you want to talk about that. However.
Yeah. So, like, it was kind of a weird serendipitous moment because, like, I was also creeping Natasha for a long time because she was John's girlfriend. So I was like, I wanted her haircut, and I took a picture of her to my hairdresser really creepily. So that was like,
well, I had a side shave.
Like a little side shave.
It's growing out now, but I had like a really, really tight side shave for a couple of years.
And I was like, I love this girl's hair. She's John's girlfriend. She doesn't know me, but I'm going to take this picture to my hairdresser. And then it was funny because she ran into me at the Oasis that night. We were playing a show with my other band called Second Parade. And that show was like the worst show from hell. The sound guy didn't show up. There was a bucket of water, like,
from the ceiling.
There was water dripping from the ceiling, and, like, there was a total electrical hazard, and, like, Nothing was working. Sound guy didn't show up. We played with Fungus and a band called All Day Breakfast from Toronto, and they had like planned it all out, and they got like it was so professional, and they had all these forms signed, and like it was supposed to be this big
the Oasis.
thing, and like it was on a Wednesday. It was like the worst. And then Natasha showed up, and I was like, oh my God, it's the girl. It's the girl that I want to be. And so it was kind of like a serendipitous time, because it was the worst show ever. But thank God she showed up. And then, so with my other band, it's a little heavier as well. It's like heavy blues rock. And on our newest album, like we had a lot of backup singing going on. The amazing Jamila was on there, and Jamila's backup singer Christine, and my friend Jamie Lowe from Ain't Ganesh. So I was like super pumped to have this like music with finally like reaching my vision of what I wanted, like a Joe Cocker backup vocal kind of thing. And then all my backup singers fell through right before this release show. Like, I'm talking like a month before. They're like, oh, I can't make it. So it was rough, and I was like scrambling to find people. And it was really funny because Melissa Boyd was like, she's an amazing singer as well. She was supposed to do it, but she's a pastor. So she was like busy with her church stuff. She had an obligation that she had to attend. And she was like, you should ask Natasha Lefort and Wendy Martin. And that's how we ended up working together creatively. So yeah, lots of serendipitous moments of me scrambling.
Yeah, well, like the both of you have this background of like heavier bands. What's the inspiration for these super stripped down version of Factory Girls Tour?
Well, it's pretty much. Well, Stef like spent most of the lockdown like writing song after song after song after song, and they just kind of came from wherever. And she decided like, she was like, let's create a band. Like, I don't know how much of a vision there was like specifically for the band itself, but like the sound, basically like with things opening back up again, like bars and spaces are only having like duos and trios. Like we're not really seeing a lot of like full band get-ups right now because it's like too many people on a stage. We've seen some, like there's been a couple of locations, like I'm pretty sure that Carlton has had full bands and stuff, but for the most part, like businesses are they're struggling a little bit, and they don't want to pay what it would cost for a full band, and plus they don't want to deal with the liability of that many people on stage. I can only assume that that's their perspective. So it made us employable to have a duo. Plus, it's also easier to coordinate a duo. Like in Halifax, it's like every musician is like, I'm in 7 bands. And it's like, hey, do you want to play this gig on this date? And it's like, no, I'm already playing with this other band and then it's just like you go down the line to try and find bookings for a band, and everybody's already booked from their other 6 projects that they have going on. So like to have a duo, it's easy because Steph and I can be like, you free? Okay, good. Like that's it.
And that's it. And we're like best friends on top of that. A lot of people think we're sisters because we are so much alike in so many ways. And so it's also really great, we're very much alike as well. But we get along so well too. And it's just like, it's so easy. You don't have all these like conflicting personalities.
Because we're both weird.
Not that I had that with the other bands. Like I had great bands. People were really cooperative in all my other bands too. But it's just easier, it's like easy to work with your best friend. It's easy to create, and like we both want the best for like the sound and stuff. So we're both on the same.
And we're both really easygoing. So like it's really nice because like if I write something, which isn't a whole lot, or if like Steph writes something, it's usually just like,
she's an amazing writer.
I've only written 2 songs, so like you hold the band. I just have done a few.
Oh no, Natasha writes. She writes amazing songs. She's got a couple already. The first song she ever showed me was like, I cried. She was like, I don't write very much. I'm just gonna like show you this. It's something I wrote a really long time ago. Pretty much sucks. And I was like, well, okay. And then she played it for me, and I bawled my eyes out. And I was like, we're going to Nashville, baby.
But it's cool because, like, since we're both, like, so chill, I find it also really easy to be on stage together. Like, sometimes, like, I find in the city, I'm gonna get canceled. I find in the city, like, a lot of musicians, like, as much as I respect their, like, the reason why they would feel that way, I find a lot of musicians are really, like, tight about, we have to look a certain way, we have to promote a certain way, and everything's about, like, who you know and what you can get next and how you're seen from the outside and, like, how everybody views you is really important. Where Stef and I are, like, not like that at all. So, which, it's good to be like that. It does actually do a lot, and it's very beneficial to be that way, but Stef and I are not like that. Like, I will wear my pajamas to the grocery store. I don't give a fuck. And so, like, Stef and I, to get on stage together, like, we'll just say whatever comes out of our mouths, and it's, like, it's a really great time, because half the time, like, we don't even know what the hell we're gonna say until we're on stage, and then we're saying something.
It's very organic.
It's very organic, and it's very wild. And there's no, like, why did you say that? Like, at the end of the show, it's just like, oh my god, we're ridiculous. Like, can you believe we said that?
But people,
they love it.
People seem to like it.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because, like, I used to get in trouble all the time for rambling in my bands. Like, people
Greg
like, go get into
hates
the top.
me. Like, I will try and say something on stage, and he's like, Tasha, shut the fuck up. Be cool. Like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, dude, you get the voice, and you get my personality, or you don't get the voice. Like, this is where we're at.
It's a package deal.
It's a package but the amount of times that Greg has been like, shut the fuck up on stage.
Wait, what would you say that would lead to such a reaction, though? Like, what type of things would you say?
Oh, the last one I said was actually really bad. But it was just... So we were on stage.
Oh my god.
So I'll try and sum this up, but, like, this guy named Jake just joined our duo. So it's like me, Greg, and Jake. And Greg is, like, the brains behind the whole operation. It's like it's a cover band, and then Jake just joined, and he's, like, a phenomenal guitarist. It's insane. So, like, the three of us, like, Greg and I have been playing together for, like, I don't know, five or 6 years now. It's crazy. And the last time, like, at our rehearsals, Jake was like, yeah, like, I told someone that I joined your band, and they, like, knew who you are, and they thought you were this sweet little married couple. And they were like, oh, you joined the married couples band. And he was like, oh, no, they're not married. They're just friends. Like, she's with John, and he's with Alex. Like, what? So I heard that and was like, Jesus, it's like, is that the kind of vibe that we gave off as a duo? Is that we're married? Like, and that was my reaction at rehearsal. So then the next day, or like the day after, or something like that, we had a show at the Celtic Corner, and someone brought up, I think it was Greg, saying something about how Jake just joined the band and we had been together for so long, and I think it just slipped out of my mouth in the mic. I was just like, yeah, been married 30 years, divorced twice, whatever. And people in the audience were just like Greg's family was mortified. They were just like, he's with Alex. Like, how dare you say that? And I was like, I was just trying to bring light to how awkward that was that someone said that, but now I've offended some people. Okay. That's not what I meant.
We just have no filter sometimes. Both of us have oversharing problems. We have no filter. So, like, podcasts are great for us because we don't...
Yeah.
You're going to get all the dirt.
Ask whatever you want.
Right. Excuse me. So, and then the name, Factory Girls, where's that from?
Go ahead.
Well, we're both really big fans. It didn't start like this, but we're both really big fans of the Rolling Stones, and they have a song called Factory Girl, which is just cool.
Yeah.
But we're also...
It kind of works.
And we're also from, like, working class area of Cape Breton. So, I don't know. You know more about...
Industrial. the industrial Cape Breton, the beautiful industry that is no longer there.
Wait, is this Glace Bay?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, Tasha's from Glace Bay, and I'm from North Sydney, so mining towns. And the steel plant was in Sydney for a long time. So there's just a lot of like, in our area, Cape Breton, it's a little bit less pretty, and it's a little bit more full of smokestacks and things and ugly stuff.
I have a friend from that. Well, I think his mom is from Glace Bay, right?
Yeah.
And like, so we're just chatting, and then he's like, they are going up to Glace Bay, and that's the first time I heard this name. I'm like, my idea, it's like, it has like this waterfront with like boats and like, cool places. I'm like, man, that place must be so nice. You guys must have a nice house. He's like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny, like, and it's a sin because like a lot of the industry is gone now. So there's also a lot of poverty in our area and stuff. So we kind of like, our style with our music is kind of like Appalachian folk music, which comes from poor people that lived in the mountains in the Appalachian area of the States. And they came from mostly Irish, Scottish immigrants that had their folk music. So it kind of like got passed down. And then there's this beautiful thing in Appalachian music and a lot of bluegrass music called blood harmony. So we kind of try to kind of.
Oh, see, blood harmony is a nice name for a group, right?
Yeah, that would be a cool name for a group, actually. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I got off track. So the blood harmony thing, I'll get back on track. So I saw this amazing video of these two Irish girls, Rady Pete and Lisa O'Neill, and they did this duet. And it was all a cappella, and they had this blood harmony blend happening, even though they weren't related. And the song was a traditional song called Factory Girl. And I was like, oh my God, this is my dream. I want a band like this. Two girls singing these eerie harmonies together.
You should have started with that.
And I just thought of... I just thought of Natasha right away because she has this eerie ability. Like she has this like creep factor.
I don't know if I can harmonize without being creepy. Like I think I just like I automatically like I don't understand. I mean, I do understand music to a certain degree, but I don't have any like music theory knowledge. Like when someone's like, can you sing the third or the fifth? I'm like, I have no idea which harmony is what. I just, my brain hears a harmony and that's the one I'm going to sing. And it's been time after time after time after time of like, if I choose a harmony, it's probably going to sound pretty good just because it's a weird blood harmony and it's just what my brain hears and it sounds all right. But like there's been times in different bands where people have been like, no, can you sing this harmony? And then we'll slow it down and I'll find the harmony and sing it with them and I got it. And then as soon as we go to play the song again and then I'm singing the harmony, it's like I lost everything that I just learned and my brain only hears the one in that moment that I can hear. I sound good, but I'm unworkable entirely. And that is my, and I try, and it doesn't matter.
Recording with you must be fun then.
Actually, we haven't recorded yet.
I have a really good track record of recording things in one take.
Oh!
Just one. Sometimes two, to be safe.
Well, that's freaking nice.
But once you know what you're doing,
man, one takes are great. One takes are great. Okay, so let's rewind a bit then. Like, how did you, individually get into music?
Oh wow.
It's a saga. Man. I got into music really late.
Really?
Like I was always a guitar player. But I didn't start writing or singing and playing until I was like 24. And I'm like 34 now. So it's been about 10 years.
I didn't know that.
And I started writing as soon as I started singing and playing. But I had a roommate that forced me to sing. And I really didn't think I could sing because I was rejected from the honor choir in North Sydney in junior high. And I automatically just assumed I sucked. And I just never sang again. And I played guitar all the time and I would jam with people, but I would never sing. And then, Yeah, and then my roommate Lauren was like, "Shut up and sing." That's what she said to me. And my friend Rosie, she was in the Cotters. They were like a Celtic kid group, kind of like the Rankin family. So she was like world famous, traveled the world and did all these amazing things. Played Carnegie Hall when she was 12 and all this stuff. So she happened to be staying with me when I lived with Lauren. So Lauren was like, "Shut up and sing." And then Rosie kind of moved in with us for a couple months, and she started writing on guitar, which is not her main instrument, but she started songwriting, and she inspired me. And I was like, "Oh my God, you can write a song. Maybe I can write a song now that I can sing. Like, maybe this is like a thing I can do, right?" So that's kind of how it started for me. But I was always like surrounded by music growing up. Like my parents had an awesome record collection. My grandmother on my mom's side was like really into musicals and like old like swing music and stuff. And my grandma on my dad's side, whenever he'd show up, she'd sing you these little Celtic songs like, "I had a hat when I came." Like she's like every time you'd show up, she'd always have a little ditty for it. So surrounded by music, but was very not confident enough to do it until I was about mid.
Because of the mean. So did they ever give you a reason why they didn't like accept you to the choir? Like, did you audition and they're like, "No, that's it"?
I just wasn't good enough, man. I just don't have a choir voice. I have a raspy Janis Joplin voice. So I don't think I was choir ready. You know what I mean? I don't have that angelic thing going on. Yeah.
No, that crap.
But no. I'm like, yeah.
Mostly you're just like,
yeah. I have a belty, screamy voice.
Great,
yeah.
Right. And
for
you,
me,
Natasha?
I have a weird kind of association with music. It's like, it's kind of dark. But like most things in my life are kind of dark, I guess. So for me, like my whole family, like in Cape Breton, they're all musicians. So even when I was like small kid, I was always around like the fiddle and the guitar and the piano and like my relatives like they're not well known across Nova Scotia by any means, but like they're well known in Shetty for being musicians. And so, like, I would spend my summers there and then always be surrounded by music. And then back home, like, with my parents, when I was growing up, like, those were some, like, kind of harder years for my family. So, I just have this association with music. Like, Dad was really into, like, classic dad rock. Like, there was always music playing, especially on the weekends, like Friday to get home, he'd pour a drink, he'd put on the like 101 disc like sound system and hit like random, and it would play from Friday until Sunday morning, and they'd have a party and people would be over, and like that's when Dad was in a good mood. So like I just associated like listening to April Wine with like, "I'm not gonna be grounded today." Like, yeah. So it was like, and then we were always driving back and forth from like Cape Breton. So like we would pick, it would either be like Fun Factory, which is the weirdest like choice ever, or the Eagles or April Wine would play in the car for like 5 hours one way, and then 2 or 3 days later, 5 hours back. Same album, to the point where, like, I know if you put on the Eagles' Greatest Hits, as soon as that song is over, I know the next one that's coming, because I've listened to it so many times just by being stuck in the car with my parents. And then, by the time I was in school, I was bullied. Everybody was bullied, like, whatever. But I figured out that I could sing. We had this talent show, and I was like just getting in with the cool girls, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, this is gonna be good for me." And we did a talent show, and no joke, just like on Mean Girls when like Katie Heron like kicks the record and the thing like turns off and she has to sing it, like ours didn't work. And we still had to present it. So I just like sang the song we were doing for the dance. And then afterwards it was like, everyone was like, "Wow, like you can sing really well." And I was like, "What? I can?" Like I had no idea. So I went home after school and I was like, "Mom, like I could sing, listen to me." Like, and it was just this like, so then by the time I was 14, like there was a group of like my next door neighbor, Nick Haskett, Corkum now, I think. You know, he's changed his name so many times. I have no idea what his last name is. But he lived next door, and he like the boys all listened to like Iron Maiden and like Flogging Molly and Queens of the Stone Age, like over and over and over and over again. Those were the bands that they listened to, and I was like the only other kid on the street, so like I would just hang out with the boys while they all like smoked weed and played guitar and listened to bands. So I just kind of, instead of growing up around females who were doing more traditionally like female things, if that's what they were even doing, I just grew up around a bunch of teenage boys. So I grew up shooting the shit in dark, dingy basements, like playing Xbox and like trying to play guitar. And I remember picking up a guitar once, just being a dick, like me, like you guys think you're so cool with your guitars, like I'm gonna try it. And I picked it up and I just messed around, and they were like, that's a song. And I was like, what? No, it isn't. They were like, no, like you're actually playing a song right now. And I was like, no. So ever since then, like I started learning. I was curious. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this. And I started picking up my guitar, and Dad bought me this pink Stratocaster, and I used to like stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. No, literally in a pink fishnet tank top, 14 years old, with my pink Stratocaster at 4 o'clock in the morning on a school night, playing like Fear of the Dark. Like, I'm just in love with this. And then I put it down for like all of my adulthood and picked it back up like when I was, I don't know, 25. And then...
Why did you put it down?
That's another dark thing. So I dated a guy for a long time. I was actually engaged, and it was not a good relationship at all. But like in the small town that I was in, like I don't think it was much different from anybody else's. It was just the norm, but it wasn't a good one. And I think I didn't know any better. I was pretty young, but I think I had some like codependent tendencies at the time. And I just like was a good girlfriend and made sure I was a good girlfriend and like pleased my boyfriend. And he was like, you're not that good, and I don't like it when you sing, and I don't like it when you play guitar. So I was like, okay, like I might as well just make him happy then. So I just put it down for like 5 years, which is really stupid when I look back. But the things we do to learn.
Why did you bring it back up?
What?
And why did you bring it back up?
I left him, and like the day I left him, I was like, I'm gonna go sing in the city. I don't give a fuck. I am going to go into Halifax, to places I have never been, and I'm gonna sing. And I remember, like, after I moved into a new place and I got settled, I like walked into Celtic Corner and just like sat down and grabbed a beer. And then Nick, the same like next door neighbor from when I was a kid, he lived in the city now, and he was like, oh my god, what are you doing here? And it just happened to be open mic night, and he put me up behind my back, and I hadn't picked up a guitar in so long, and I heard my name called to the stage, and I was like, well, I guess it's time to figure out if I still know how to do this. And I got up and I played.
Do you remember what you sang?
I think it was probably Sunset, that Molly Rankin song that you liked. And
oh
probably,
my god, she kills
and
that
probably
song.
some Honey Honey, because I really like them acoustically. They're really great. And then Greg Mitchell, the guy that I'm in a band with now, was there that night. That's how I met him. And he was just like, he beelined it to the stage, and he was just like, can you play on Sunday? And I was like, what do you mean play? Like, he's like, do you have a set? I was like, what's a set? Like, what? So that's how it started for me.
That is so cool.
Right, it is. I guess, you know, so on Stef's end, Stef, you're like fangirling, I guess, for Natasha, and then you form this band, and
now I fangirl for you,
I guess. And like when it comes to like writing and music and stuff, how does that work though?
Well, I'm a little bit of a witch. Full disclosure, I practice the dark arts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a bad witch. But
you're a bad bitch.
I do. I'm a bad bitch. But sorry. I do a lot of energy work. So I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I also do tarot readings and stuff. So I kind of have like this open channel for things to come in, and people used to call it the muse, you know, like the Greeks call it the muse. Some people say they get a download. I don't know like what you want to call it, but I will literally be driving and a song will come out of me.
I
and
think
I'll
that's
be
how
like,
most artists
whoa.
kind of describe the feeling.
Yeah. It's like you're like, I think Bob Dylan said it's the wellspring of creativity, and like you never know when it's going to run dry because you're just connected or you're not. And sometimes, like, I never try to write when I have no inspiration or when it just doesn't come easily, because I find like I have this open channel and it just comes out, and I'm writing all the time. Like, I think we have about 20 originals since last year, like just in the last year, written,
and
like,
they're all
songs.
bangers.
So like, well, I don't know about that, but I do try to be really critical because I am a writer by trade. Like my work is writing basically, and teaching. So
what
like,
are writing?
I'm doing like courseware development for the Air Force, so a lot of their curriculum development kind of stuff. But it's like all online. So I'm an editor, I'm a writer, and I've always loved writing. And like, yeah, I think it's just like I have tried to force songs before, and typically the ones that I try to force take a long time and they never quite sound right. And usually the ones I'm trying to force, I end up working with somebody else. Like my boyfriend,
We
for
tried
instance,
it
is an
too.
amazing guitar player. Yeah.
I was like, why isn't this working?
Like, yeah, it's just like, okay, no, I still hate the song. It's like, but like I find sometimes those songs, I know I have something in my head and I'm like, I just want to get this out, but it's not working. But if somebody else comes along with more skill than me, like for instance, my boyfriend's an amazing guitar player. He was playing like these things that he wrote, and I was like, oh my God, like I have a song that I've been trying to finish for years and it never worked, but I think it's going to work with what you just wrote. So like, I think like ideally, like I try not to force things, but if there is one that's really bugging me, I usually work with somebody else, and then it brings the song together. And Natasha's awesome for that too. Like I'll be like, like what is going on with this, and she'll just be like, oh, do this, and I'm like,
well, because I organize things. Like I'm never not organizing things and making patterns. Like I took an interior decorating program a few years ago. What I'm always, whether it's like someone's psychology or like words on a page or someone's house or whatever it is, like I'm never not putting two and two together. I'm never not creating some sort of pattern. Like to the point where if someone tells me about their, like I can take someone's childhood and then tell who they're going to be. Or like I can take who someone is and pinpoint what happened in their childhood to make them that way, and then get a confirmation that that's exactly what happened. I've done it so many times.
You do puzzles.
She's a pattern queen.
I pattern everything. Like
do you do puzzles?
No.
Oh,
it's just this natural thing.
Wouldn't you be good at that?
I don't know. I've never really...
Right, because it's patterns,
probably,
right?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd like to.
So you mentioned something earlier on that most people, especially in the city of Halifax, and like so many bands. Why do you think that's the case?
Why do you think it's the case that we have so many bands, or that...
No. People in so many bands?
Well, because you have so many things that you want to do. It's like, I think once you become, this is just my opinion, I don't know, and then maybe you can touch on it too, Stef, but I think it's because, you know, once you're typecast almost, like let's say you're in the Rolling Stones, people expect you to be the Rolling Stones. But when you're not that level, you don't have that level of fame, like just being an artist, you're like, it's like a buffet. It's like I want to taste this food, and I want to taste this food, and maybe I want to eat a cake today, or maybe I want to, I don't know, have some poutine or something. It's the same thing with music. I think like I have different tastes and different moods that I can be in a given day, and one day I might want to listen to like folk, and then other days I might want to listen to some metalcore or like, you know. So when you have these ideas, I think you're drawn to more than just one type of artistry, and you want to explore more and see what you can do in different genres. Like sometimes I think, like I don't think that Factory Girls, it probably would have because you wrote most of the songs, but I don't think that Factory Girls would have been what it is if say you weren't in Second Line Parade first, or I wasn't in Chosen Lung first. Because it was those darker bands that gave the inspiration to us to want to do something slowed down and dark. I think that if we were still...
And it also...
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
Oh, no, then. That's good. You go ahead. I lost it. I was like, that's all. That's okay.
No, I was just going to say, like, also, when you're in multiple bands, like, I think that's why, like, we've had success with Factory Girls so far, because, like, I was in Second Line Parade for a long time, and I was playing Dingy Bears, and it was, like, we were playing with punk bands, we were playing with metal bands, we were playing with horror billy bands, like, there's, like, we kind of fit with a lot of different genres, which is cool, and a lot of people were open to it, but it was, like, I wasn't reaching out into the country community here. I wasn't reaching out so much into
there's
the folk
certain
community.
venues that you can't play because they don't associate with
you're
darker
too loud.
bands. So once you get into it,
you're too loud or you're too scared.
Yeah, once you get it like a folk duo, all of a sudden we're opened up to places like the Rustic Crust, where like Chosen Lung could never play the Rustic Crust.
Exactly. And also, like, I have a country band that my dad writes country songs, but he doesn't sing or play. He just sings in the shower. But he's amazing. He's an amazing songwriter. And so he was like, Steph, I really wish someone would do my songs for me. And I'd be like, yeah, Dad, maybe Matt Minglewood or somebody, like, and I didn't realize that he was hinting that I should play, and then I clued in. Yeah, for years. Like, he would literally just, like, look off into the distance and be like, gee, I wish someone would sing my songs. And I'd be like, me too, Dad. So I finally clued in. We started Big Bad Billy. And so when I started country stuff, it was interesting because it opened up a whole new network of people. It opened up a whole new, festival sort of opportunities and stuff like that. It opened up, a whole different group. Like, instead of, like, the punks and the metalheads, I was hanging out with the country people and seeing what they were doing. And it's like, and then now all of those people, like Factory Girls, which is cool because, like, we have the darker stuff and we are very influenced by blues and metal and stuff, but we're folky and we had the country vibe as well. So it's kind of like it came full circle, and now it's all this, like, mishmash of networks that have all kind of come together.
Speaking of, like, hanging out with the country folks, like, when I first met John and I joined Chosen Lung on a whim, it blew my mind when I went to Gus's for the first time, because I had been in Halifax I was living in Dartmouth, but I was coming to Halifax and Dartmouth for live music for the last 5 years of my life. And I saw cover band after cover band after cover band, and I had this network of people who I knew who were in cover bands, and I thought that was the Halifax music scene. Like, that was the only awareness that I had for Halifax music for 5 years. And then when I started dating John, and I went to live shows for original music, I was like, wait, what? Like, there's a whole other group of people in Halifax who I've never seen who are also in the music. What? And, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it's such a small city, but, like, I had no idea that these people existed and how much work they were putting into their craft. Like, I don't want to speak for every cover band, but I know that, like, Greg and I rehearse, like, once a year, maybe. Because it's just covers. You just know. But, like, when you're writing your own music, it's like you're rehearsing all the time. Like, and there's so much more work that goes into it. You're not getting paid as much as the cover bands. Like, you're putting money into artwork. You're putting money into studio time. And, like, it's a totally different world. And it's a grind. Like, it's crazy.
You just mentioned something I didn't know, because I don't play music. I don't know anything about music. But, like, you saying that cover bands get paid more?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Well, how? Like, explain. Talk me through this.
Because the general public wants to sit down and drink and listen to songs that they know and party.
They want to hear Wagon Wheel.
They want to hear Wagon Wheel. They want to hear Brown and Girl.
And they will pay top dollar.
Yeah. But that's not the thing, though,
crazy.
Right?
And I'm in both. I'm in the cover band world and I'm in the original music world, and I love both of them. I would never be able to choose.
You just blew my mind. I didn't know. Like, is this just like everywhere, or was only in the city?
I think it's everywhere.
This is just.
It's Well, in Nova Scotia, like I've played a lot of other places in Nova Scotia, and there, like I find it's pretty prevalent, but there are certain towns that I feel are a little bit more open to original music. Like I will say, like Cape Breton, like I've had a lot of success with like original bands down there. And like I think New Glasgow is another place where they really foster like the creative side of things. But it's a hard go, and that's why like with Factory Girls, like we have covers in our back pocket as well, because we're playing like these gigs that are for like restaurants and stuff. So you have to have covers. Like, so we have like half. It's basically like we play for 3 hours and we do an hour and a half of originals mixed in with an hour and a half of covers.
Wait,
and
you play for 3 hours? Holy shit!
Yeah. I have to start to be able to memorize those songs. I have them in front of me, so I'm cheating, but like, yeah.
Whatever.
That's
It's a
insane.
lot.
Like, so how do you prepare? So say, you know, like a set is coming in, I don't know, 2 weeks. How do you prepare for that?
Well, actually, if you want to be honest, if we want to be really transparent, what we do, Stef and I, this is not what you're supposed to do, but what we do is we decide, okay, we have a show in 2 weeks, we should probably get together and rehearse. So we pick a time, I go to her, she comes to me, whatever, and then what happens is we sit there for 5 hours and we talk about our personal lives. And then we go, wow, that was a really good time that we had together. Do you want to set up an actual time to rehearse because we have to get this shit done? And then we do that. We set up a time to rehearse, and then we finally get together and we begrudgingly rehearse the songs that we don't want to rehearse but are doing, because if we don't, then we're going to fuck up on stage. That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, yeah?
Oh, no. It's just,
That's what we do.
It's good though, because we have a very close relationship because of all those hard parts that we've.
That's insane. Holy shit, that's so much work though. I'm like, I don't know why, but I just think if someone is making this thing that didn't exist before, it's a lot more work than just, I'm just gonna, like, the music already exists, I'm just fucking playing it.
Yeah,
you know.
which is hard too, like, to sit down, like, I mean, it depends on your capacity for learning new songs.
I don't know if it's hard. Sorry, I don't know. I don't
like, it's not that hard to sit down and learn a song. Depends on the song.
I mean, like, okay, I don't play an instrument, right? But let's say I can play an instrument and I can read those things, right? You just download a thing and then, this is what you do, and then you play it, versus, like, creating stuff is hard. I don't care. You know, I don't care what people say, but, like, creating something that, like, I know, you know, so creating, it's like, sure, this thing exists, and, like, maybe there's a song or whatever that inspires what you're writing, but you're making something that it didn't exist till you made it happen. That's fucking cool, man. So,
and then when you do it, you're like, shit, I just did that. Whoa!
Right. And like, here's the thing, like, you know, when I don't want to not, like, you know, compare, but I think music is one of the most difficult things to make, right? Because, like, you're playing the instrument, you kind of have to think of melodies. Like, with other things like painting, you just putting stuff there. Writing film, you just like, you know, I like that idea from that film.
I don't know. I don't know if I would want to sit there and edit a film for like 2 weeks.
That's not a skill. I'm sorry, editors are gonna hate me, but like, that's not it.
It is work.
So here's the thing, though. Like, you know, you write. So my thing. Here's the, like, and this is just my own opinion, right? You know, this is Israel's opinion, nobody else's. The person that writes the thing is the Jesus of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, every other person is just, you know, yeah, like every other person, like, you know, and I'm from a film background, filmmakers might hate me, but it's the writer that made this thing happen. Yeah. So I'm passionate about this thing. So.
But I still think that there's room for, like, the other pieces to not line up properly. Like, let's say someone wrote something and they did a really good job, then you can get a shitty producer who fucks the whole thing up. Or you can get a really good producer that takes that and brings it to life.
No, I completely agree, but my whole...
Like the last fucking season of the Game of Thrones! What was that?
Yeah, I've not seen that. Everyone has said it was crap. Here's the thing about, okay, and now I'm going on a tangent, but the thing about Game of Thrones for me is that I never saw it until I got my teeth taken out, so I didn't have shit to do. So I just stayed home, and then one weekend just banged out 6 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah. And
I needed to take mental breaks because so much was happening.
Let me see. I think, okay, so when they killed everybody, that was really bad. That just came out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was just having this discussion with a friend of mine about how long should you spell something. This is like 4 years old,
I think it's
right?
Fine. I think it's fine.
I think you're good.
I also, to be
but
fair,
really though, so yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm one of
But
those
really,
people.
I didn't see the last season though.
Oh,
I didn't see
don't
the
even
last
waste your
season
time.
yet. Right, everyone says that. Everyone says
because
that.
if you don't watch the last season, then you'll still have it in your head that it was the best show ever created. And then once you see the last season, you can't say that anymore.
I don't know if it's I mean, I like it, but I'm okay.
It was intricate. I think that's
Game
why.
of Thrones was just an okay show though, for me. Yeah, it was just okay. If it's fine, I get it. It's cool, dragons and stuff. But for me,
So I guess he's not into fantasy and medieval shit like me.
No, not at all. Maybe, kind of. But like, I prefer Breaking Bad to Game of Thrones.
See, I hated Breaking Bad. I hated Breaking Bad. And
What did you hate
why?
about it?
Because his wife was so painfully irritating, I couldn't get past it.
But that's...
I was like, shut
See, that is
the
good
fuck
writing.
up. I couldn't watch it. I got too passionate.
That is good writing.
I got too passionate about how much I
see, that's
hated
good
her.
writing, right? Because you can't stand that character. It's like, oh yeah, she's irritating though. She was.
I couldn't get past it. I would just watch it and be irritated every time I watched it. So I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
Okay. So let me get back to song. What I'm saying is that this song existed, right? Say you're I don't know, Taylor Swift cover band, right? You know, so she wrote this song and it means something to her and it evokes some certain emotion, and then you just, you like her, right? Because you like the songs, and then you get a bunch of friends that like the songs, and then you play the song, and then, I guess you're giving people the experience of listening to a live performance of a Taylor Swift song,
Kinda.
right?
Right.
Versus this person, something happened in their life, or something happened to someone they know about, or they were just driving down the street and then they saw a bird and they're like, oh my god, what is this bird story? And then they go home and then they write this thing down and then they get the guitar and then they put the words to it. That's so much work.
Yeah.
That's so much work.
Yeah.
That's so much work.
But it
And now
doesn't
they have
feel
to
like
convince-
work when you're in it. Like when it's coming out of it,
Right,
you're just like, "Bleh."
right.
And then
Yeah, because you're.
But if you're
enjoy
trying
it, right?
to force it though, like if you are not in the mood to write, then it's like, this is awful. Like I would rather do anything
Yeah,
like-
than this right now.
I'm a big fan of like work smarter instead of harder. So
Same.
like I said, I don't think of it as work really when I'm writing, because it literally it's as if I get
You're in a different world.
It's downloaded into my brain.
Like time
and I
isn't
just
operating
put
the
it out.
same way when you're in that creative space. It's like you're somewhere else. Like you're not thinking, okay, I need to get this song done and how is this gonna go? You're literally just like, I can't write fast enough to get this out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest something, and you might not like this, but like whenever you're writing again, just set up a camera at the corner, just let it run. Just let it run. And then, however long it takes, maybe put it like in the charger so it's, so it's charged, right? And then you don't watch the entire thing. You just like play that like 6-10 times the speed, because, I don't know how long it takes.
Yeah.
But watch that thing and then you understand that, for you in that moment, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's a
But
fucking
looks
lot
like
of work. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say
it is
that
a lot of work.
because like I've written like 3 or 4 songs in my life, and the 2 ones that I actually like show to people, one of them is like, this is the song that I showed her, and I say this as like the one song I ever wrote because it was so true to my heart. Like I can't imagine putting a camera on me while I was writing that because I was bawling my face off.
Yeah.
Like water is going on the page. I can't even see what I'm writing. And I'm like, like as I'm writing this thing.
But that is exactly what I'm saying.
I don't want to watch that.
But that is my point, right? When you're creating this thing, and people, like, you know, you hear, I don't feel bad when a creative person is making millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, I don't feel bad at all.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's so much work. But when you're seeing it, you're like, all you're doing is, you know, writing words and doing these things. So
that's a common thing.
I don't want to knock people that, because I have a lot of friends that play in cover bands.
I think that's a really common thing in the music community. Like, I know some people who are very passionate about that exact thing, where it's just like, so-and-so is an amazing, I don't know, drummer, artist, singer, or guitarist, whatever, and they're making nothing, where, like, someone like, I don't know, I was going to say Paris Hilton, but we all know why she's famous. It's separate. But, like, when someone who is famous for not doing anything or, like, not doing anything of value, it's like, it's not that people who are into music are necessarily also after fame. That can be two separate things, but it's like the acknowledgement of like my work has value and why do I also have to do a job that I hate in order to survive so that I can do this thing that is providing more value than that piece of shit who's doing nothing and is making millions of dollars.
Right. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, we have to do this again. We have to do this again. I'm having so much fun. But I'm going to let you two go on these questions now. So, Factory Girls Duo is here. COVID. See, you know, oh, wait. You know, I don't know your ages, but like now, like
29.
I think it's like they just came up with a new age group for vaccines. Say in a couple of weeks, everyone is vaccinated. Life is back to normal. What are some plans you two have for Factory Girls?
Well, we have our summer's completely booked as long as things go back. Like we're already booked. I don't think we have any more room to play any more shows. Like my calendar is like every weekend. So as soon as things open up, hopefully those just come back.
Hopefully they won't be canceled. But we have a couple of gigs booked in Cape Breton. So we have one at Live Life Intense. Live Life Intense is an amazing spot. It's got like they have like basically like sort of like new age kind of yurts and stuff on the property. And they've done a ton for the community. They're amazing. And we're gonna have like a nice jam with us and Tyler Mullendore and Abby Mullendore. They're amazing too. If you ever need more people to interview, they're gonna hook us up on Canada Day.
Hopefully the joint goes. Do you remember that little food truck?
Yes.
The joint?
Yeah, there's gonna be barbecue. It's gonna be great. And then we have a gig at a place called Cabot Shores. It's another place in Cape Breton on the Cabot Trail with yurts. So that's cool. It's like we have the yurt tour going on. And then we have a couple of gigs throughout the summer at Rustic Crust. So like Rustic Crust is an amazing
somewhat
spot.
Of a residency kind of at the Rustic Crust.
Yeah, like we're playing there twice a month. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Rustic Crust is amazing if you guys haven't been. If anyone in Halifax hasn't gone out to Tantallon, like I know everyone in Halifax is like, I'm not leaving Halifax, that's too much effort. This is worth it.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
The food is amazing, the service is amazing, they treat us like gold.
I've never been treated better. Like I've never.
Nice.
It's great.
And Barely's at the end of the summer. So in August we have a gig at Barely's, and hopefully we'll get another gig at Barely's. We had one canceled when the lockdown happened.
Right. Oh man. Anyway, okay. So Stef and Natasha, I had so much fun.
Yeah, with you.
Thanks for coming to the sanctuary.
Thank you.
I want to have you back because I'm starting this new show, which isn't about people but about things. And I want to I want to have an episode where I'm talking about Game of Thrones, because like I want to talk about Game of Thrones with someone that really loves it, and I want to like pick the holes. I'm like, okay,
I don't know if I'm a super fan, but
okay, but one of the biggest holes before you go is like this guy. The guy that is with his sister, whatever, the queen. So he falls in love with this hero knight lady person, right? Or something, but then at the ending, like he doesn't, like he just goes back to his sister. What was that about?
I'm pretty sure he's the father of her children.
Oh yes.
Anyway,
I love it.
Stef and Natasha, thank you so much for coming to the sanctuary.
Thanks for having us.
We should do this again very soon.
Let's do it.
Yes, you are amazing. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. This was awesome, and you have the best energy ever.
This is so fun. You are welcome on a Factory Girl stage anytime.
Yes.
I can't sing for shit. I cannot sing. But I know what good music sounds like. So I think.
That's all personal.
I love your music.
Yeah.
I love your music completely.
Thank you. We love your work. I love your podcasts. I'm so into them. I listen to them all the time while I work.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your sunny day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll go out. Yeah, I'm like a bat.
It's okay. We need more bats in Nova Scotia.
Yes, we do. We'll see you soon.
Jesus can save you at the death.